Today, we're going to have a little fun here. Colton and I are going to make the topic less serious, hopefully informative. We're going to share with you the day in the life of a personal injury lawyer here at our law firm, just sort of what we do day to day.
So Andrew and I come in to the office, then we make a cup of cappuccino or espresso. I don't know why I say cappuccino.
We like our espresso. It's very social for us. That is a big part of our firm culture here. Usually at least 3 times a day, somebody is announcing to the office, I'm about to make an espresso. Who else wants one? That's a big part of it. We have fun with the espresso machine. Yeah, so we're usually in the office in the morning. There's different days in the life of lawyers, but if it's a day where we don't have hearings or mediations or depositions or client meetings, then we typically start by checking emails and getting to work on people's cases. So why don't we share a little bit of like the type of work you do when you're not at a hearing and you're behind your desk and you're doing some work?
Usually it's either drafting mediation memos, drafting settlement proposals, getting on calls with clients, giving them updates, getting updates, keeping in touch with adjusters, defense lawyers, just to see how we can advance our clients' cases the most effective and efficient way to, bring resolution to their matter.
Yeah, and sprinkled in there, at least in our office, we work very much collaboratively. And so the lawyers aren't independent working on a file. We have a team that helps us. We have paralegals and we have law clerks, and then we have each other, the lawyers. Very often during the day, we'll have opportunities to just talk about files, get updates from the other team members on a particular client case, discuss next steps, revisit prior action plans, and just see the status of things that we've talked about doing. And that could be pre-suit items like collecting records, doing notice letters, demands, coordinating healthcare for these people, and coordinating insurance benefits, or litigation, which would include pleadings and scheduling discovery and responding to discovery and requesting discovery and on and on and on.
Sometimes for lunch, we'll go grab a coffee.
Yep, we are a pretty social group here. We do like to talk about our cases. Very often we'll go for walks just to get some air and also talk about cases.
Come up with strategies on, how we can advance our clients' claims faster, more efficient, more effective.
So what we've been talking about so far, those are the days that are kind of far and few between where we're actually not on hard appointments. Okay, and so we have the flexibility of working on multiple matters on a given day. That's more rare in a week. The life of a personal injury litigator, depending on how you look at it, fortunately or unfortunately, doesn't really include a lot of time behind your desk setting your own schedule. Most of our weekdays are spent with specific matters that are in litigation. We might be in deposition all day long. We're just focused on one case for that day, and we're taking depositions or we're defending depositions. There might be other days where we're in a mediation or a settlement conference all day. There are the days where we're attending court, motions, hearings. Obviously, there's times where there's trial, which is all-consuming. It's not just a day. It could be weeks on end. The day in the life of a litigator really varies from day to day. One thing I always try to emphasize with clients and try to help them appreciate is your lawyer's not always available to talk to you on a given day because of, if you're in a deposition, your client's either sitting next to you or on Zoom, or you're deposing a witness.
And it takes hours and hours a day.
There's prep time for that. We can't just magically show up on the day of the deposition and know that case inside out and be prepared to ask the questions or defend. Typically, days before that, we spend a considerable amount of time preparing, reviewing records, organizing your outline for the questions you're going to ask, or if you're defending, preparing your client, explaining the process. And all of that takes time. So that's some of the serious business we do. Some of the less serious things in our day of the life of a personal injury lawyer.
We sometimes have social events.
For instance?
For instance, we went to escape rooms with the whole team. We would have dinner with the whole team.
We went boating a few times. I think fortunately for us, we don't really have to work too hard at team building. We don't have to organize team building because I think we already have a very close-knit team because the way we work, the way we're set up to work is very integrated with one another.
Very collaborative with everyone. Everyone gives their opinion and ideas. We do have like weekly meetings scheduled in our calendars, but we talk about file every single day whenever we have an opportunity to.
But they're not organized formal meetings. But we also have organized formal meetings. They could be on a specific case, or it could be on a group of cases at a specific phase in the litigation. So for instance, we got cases that are gearing up for trial. We typically have more regular meetings on those and things like that. So there are different types of meetings, but yeah, we do meet often.
What do you enjoy most?
What I enjoyed the most, getting a good result for our client.
Colton loves, resolving cases
Or like
clients.
Or like meeting clients for the first time.
That's true. Yeah, that's the same with me. I love meeting new clients. I love it. I love hearing their story. I love thinking about how we can tell that story for them. And I also love telling the client, it's been fun getting to know you. We wish you all the best. Your case is over. We're going to miss you. But for most of our clients, it's closure to one chapter. The injury is going to remain with them for a very long time. So we're happy that they can move to that next phase. I wouldn't ever describe it as a happy event when one of these cases settle. I think most of our clients would rather have never needed to meet us in the first place. As much as we get along with each other, I think they would rather rewound to about 2 minutes before the event.
Some clients say that, unfortunately, I hope I never get to see you in the future under these circumstances.
Yeah. So.
But it's a satisfying feeling.
Yeah, it's a satisfying feeling because, most, if not all, clients are very happy that their case is finally resolved. Like Andrea said, like that chapter of their life is over. Now they can focus on actually getting better, actually putting the accident behind them so that they can go on to bigger and better things.
Mm-hmm.
What about your dress code?
This is pretty well how I dress every day. Something similar to this. If we're attending court or mediation or something else, we might be wearing a suit and tie. Most days, business casual. If I'm not at a hearing or something, this is what I'd be wearing.
How do you decide to clock out?
I mean, we could never finish everything, so
if you're in the middle of something and you have to finish it, we'll finish it. But if there's this is a good place to stop for the time being,
then I continue.
And I don't mean for the day, because necessarily doesn't mean you're stopping for the day. It means you're stopping for the time being. You're leaving the office. You might have to pick it up that evening. It can wait till tomorrow to pick it up. You wait till tomorrow. Our work life, but also our personal life, is largely influenced and dictated by other forces outside of ourselves and our immediate family, because the court will set timelines and timetables and deadlines, opposing counsel, the rules of civil procedure, what's right for the case. All of those things come into play and influence when things need to be completed by. Yeah, we don't really have the luxury of turning it off because there's a lot of external forces that dictate when we have to be ready to perform or do what we have to do. What's the hardest part of the job?
The amount of work that, needs to be done. Once you finish one thing, there's always 2 or 3 things that gets added on top. It's a sheer amount of volume that is the most difficult, juggling what's urgent and what's not. Because at the end of the day, everything is urgent, but what's more urgent than what's decided, right?
That's true.
Prioritization, time management.
Yeah, I agree with that too. Because for every client, their matter is the most important to them. And that is sometimes difficult is how do you manage when you have multiple clients' interests that you're trying to advance. At least I try to educate the clients and bring them into our workflow a little bit to understand. There will be times where we're completely working on nothing but their file to the exclusion of all of our other clients because it's the nature of litigation. But then they also have to understand there will be days where we may not be accessible just because we're immersed in something, maybe a court proceeding or something that requires all of our attention at that moment for that client. That's probably the hardest part for me too, is helping the clients understand it and balance their expectations.
Is there anything you do that's out of the ordinary?
We eat a lot of chocolate. That's something people probably wouldn't know.
We listen to country music.
We do listen to country music in the back. Yeah. Do we all listen to country music, or do I listen to country music and you guys all polite?
I think it's that.
And everyone else is polite and says, yeah, I like it.
No, it's still enjoyable.
Yeah. What else do we do that's kind of quirky here? We don't take breaks, other than to go for maybe a quick walk to talk about
Like a breather.
Colton and I don't take any breaks during the day, for the most part, right? Colton, I've never seen him have a lunch other than, unless we're ordering in for the whole office, and then he's doing it just to participate and be social.
Once in a while I'll do lunch, but
Very rarely.
I just forget about eating.
Colton doesn't eat. I rarely bring a lunch.
But on Saturdays and Sundays, like, okay, let's go. Let's eat.
During the work week, I hardly eat.
Like, I wake up hungry on Saturdays and Sundays.
Yeah. I think maybe that's a bit unusual that we don't eat during the day, other than chocolate.
I don't really eat chocolate.
No, Colton doesn't eat chocolate. I eat enough chocolate for everybody.
I only started drinking espresso because of Andrew.
Peer pressure.
Yeah, pretty much, essentially.
And we literally have chocolate
In the foyer, in the back office,
everywhere.
your secret stash.
Like, I don't think you could take 6 steps in the office
Without chocolate.
without encountering like a pile of chocolate. The other thing we do here is, actually, this is kind of fun. We haven't done it in a little while. We get a lot of organizational magazines, like the American Association of Justice and Trial Lawyer Associations and things like that. We kind of have fun sometimes reading those publications, sharing information about recent decisions, cases, verdicts, stuff like that. Sometimes we'll read verdict and settlement reports, give the facts of the case, and like try to get the staff to guess what the outcome was. The jury awarded money, ultimately found for the plaintiff. What do you think the verdict was based on these injuries, right? And kind of just poll the office on what they think. And it kind of gives you some insight into how they evaluate cases. We do YouTube videos, by the way. We usually schedule some time to do these videos. It's a break from the everyday.
Yeah, it's a nice break.
Yeah. We're always happy to talk to law students or even people considering going to law school that just want to have a cup of coffee and learn about personal injury law. I've done that. I haven't done it in a while. I've had those calls before, and I'm happy to, usually if I have time, I'm happy to grab a coffee with someone and talk to them about the practice and personal injury law in particular. Yeah, so if you're a student
Or had an interest in law, even thinking about going into law, don't hesitate to reach out to any one of us. We're more than happy to have a quick chat with you so that you can ask any questions that you might have.
we need to get a blender and do some like iced coffees for the summer.
Can you put the dark chocolate into the espresso?
You want a mocha? It's easy.
No, you told me.
You take cocoa, brown.
Who are you talking to?
Espresso.